January 2008. Welcome to another edition of Reading at Large, a monthly television magazine produced for RCTV. I'm Dick Curtis, your host for the program. The Creative Arts in Reading is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. We'll take a look at where they came from and where they're headed. And there's another group of creative talent in Reading, the Reading Society of Craftsmen. We visited their fall exhibition in November. All this on Reading at Large. 30 years ago, a new program started up in Reading. It was called Creative Arts for Kids. It's now more than kids. It's for adults also. We talked with Jennifer Hart, the executive director of Creative Arts.
Creative Arts was founded 30 years ago now, so we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. It was started and founded by a group of parents. There were about 18 families that got together and were concerned about the arts in the schools and the public schools of Reading. And they got together and decided that we really need to make something happen. One of those families was Judy O'Hare, who ran the organization for many years. At the beginning, she was the first executive director, and they worked with the schools, brought programming to the schools. It started first with fine art in the school systems in Reading, and they quickly grew, had high demand, and within the first few years, they decided that they had outgrown the schools. They started offering some music as well, and that's when Creative Arts was moved to the First Congregational Church on the corner of Woburn and Sanborn Street, where we currently rent space from the church. Creative Arts has been and continues to be an independent, nonprofit community school, so we're separate from the church, but rent space from them.
This is where students and parents come in and interact with all of us. It's also where the faculty keeps their notebooks and the things that they do need for their classes. As you see, we're trying to use every available inch, but it is a tight squeeze on certain days in particular. Tuesday is a very busy day. We're using almost every classroom in the building for lessons.
We're really looking to the future and expansion and working with other arts and cultural groups in the area. So we're working with RCTV, and we've come together to form the Cultural Connection to look for a space, an actual physical new home that would house both of our programming and also be a function space for the public and also for the other arts and cultural organizations in town.
For the past couple of years, I've been working with Jennifer Hart from Creative Arts looking for a facility to house both of our organizations together. RCTV is on Ash Street, and our facility is really small and we don't have enough space for our programming and storage. And Creative Arts is in the same situation. They're looking for more space to expand. So we thought, since we do programming together, it might be a good opportunity to have a facility that we both can be in that would be great for the community.
We are actually in negotiations with two separate properties to explore possible something new in the near future. It would be a pretty big thing. Reading has tried this in the past before, and on different levels. And we really feel we have a lot of great people behind us.
We have some initial financial support for a joint facility, and I know that raising funds is something that's going to be tough to do, but I didn't think finding a location was going to be this hard. We've seemed to have scoured every bit of property in the town and are still looking at many different locations. It's been hard.
It is also supported by a great advisory council Phil and I could never do this on our own, or even all of the organizations working together. We have a great council. Some of those members include a selectman. The selectmen have been very supportive of this project and the idea of having an actual arts and cultural community type center in the downtown area. So James Bonazzoli is one of the advisory council members. Nelson Burbank has been a wonderful advisor. He's on the advisory council. He's met with us on numerous occasions to talk about the plans and the projects and what to do moving forward in each step of the way, as well as both the board presidents of RCTV and Creative Arts, Gene Nigro, who is the president of the RSO. He's on the advisory board of Creative Arts. He's on the board of directors at RCTV, and everybody I think knows Gene. He's involved, and there's a few other people. Julie Thurlow from Reading Co-op Bank has been extremely supportive and helpful as well, and she sits on the advisory council.
Our first project with the Cultural Connection was developing a cultural arts-based calendar for the community. There are a lot of great organizations in the community that are having events go on, and they all seem to be happening on the same weekends, so they were losing attendance because there were so many things going on. We developed this calendar not only for the groups to find out what the other groups were up to, but for the community to find out what's going on in Reading, and so that they could, go to some of these wonderful concerts and open houses.
Our funding comes from tuition, and then also private and governmental and foundation and corporations. So we rely on the support of the public as well, and the foundations and the corporations. And that will be important for a new home as well that will house more than just creative arts. The public support will really be important. Creative Arts currently has 3 programs, or 3 schools, so to speak. We have our art program, or art school, our theater program, and our music program. The art program is all ages. It runs beginning at 2.9, sometimes even 14-month-old classes. That's a family art class, so the parent sits in with the child, and it's a fun way to get messy and explore new concepts outside of the home, and we take care of the mess and all of that fun stuff that comes with family art. All the way up to adult classes. We actually, this past trimester, had 3 almost full, 2 full adult art classes and 1 other that was almost full, a painting class, a drawing class, and a pottery class. So the adult population in the visual arts is also growing. The theater program is also growing by leaps and bounds. In fact, as of right now, the theater program consists of 1 staff member who's also the theater director, but she is hiring an assistant who will be teaching other classes, so that program's growing. And they start as young as 2.9 and go all the way up to age 18.
The drama program at Creative Arts has been in existence for probably about 10 years. I came on about 8 years ago, and I started as the assistant director in the camps, in the school vacation weeks and the summer weeks. And then when the woman who was the theater teacher at the time left to have a baby, I took over teaching the classes and started running the camps.
I'm very busy with summer camps in the summertime. It's probably the busiest time I've seen all year, was getting ready for summer.
We've done 2 summers where we've collaborated the camps with RCTV. A few years ago, I had a meeting with Phil and said that TV would be something I would like to expand my theater students to do, because TV acting is very different from stage acting. So I was teaching a few classes there. They were allowing me to use the space and teach my classes there. So Phil and I started talking and said, a camp over the summer would be kind of cool. So the first summer we offered a 1-week half-day camp where the kids came in the afternoon, and then we offered a full-day 1-week camp, and they both did really well. So this past summer we offered 2 1-week full-day camp.
The summer camp program has been extremely successful. We've actually had to turn away people because it's been full. We hope to expand the program and have additional classes in the future, but it's just based on the facility and man hours that we have.
We encourage them to all be in front of the camera as well as behind the camera so that they experience both aspects of it. Then they write their scripts. They spend a little time writing their scripts the first couple days and a little time learning how to use the equipment. The GL2s for when they're outside and the studio cameras inside. We have some fun with chroma key with them. And then so by the end of the week, they've taped their production, they've starred in it, they've edited it, and then we have a final viewing on the last day for their parents to come in and watch what they've taped, and we put all of the groups together on one DVD, and they all get to take one home with them as a memory from their week at camp. Starting this next trimester, there'll also be another theater teacher who's going to start, Kirsten Brown. She's also one of the art teachers here at Creative Arts, which is a cool thing. That shows how creative arts kind of interacts with even within itself. We're not segregated. It's not, you know, just music or just art, just theater. We really try to bring all three of them together. We try to encourage students. You know, if I find out a student isn't equipped with theater, maybe that's not the best match for them, then, you know, I would suggest, you know, maybe you should try music or art. So we really try to bring it together. So when we have teachers that overlap, that's, you know, even better too. You know, so somebody like Kirsten might have somebody in an art class and would say, you know what, you would be much better in theater being able to, you know, where she's teaching both.
The younger kids do a lot of movement and that sort of thing.
So I had a class of 4 to 6-year-olds whose performance was Cinderella. It was a puppet class. And that was very cute. So we spent lots of time working with puppets, how to use puppets, how they can manipulate their hands to use puppets. We made some puppets in the class. So, and then we practiced quite a bit on the play, because with younger kids, repetition is really what works the best for them. So then I have a group of 2.9 to 4-year-olds who've been working on The Three Little Pigs. So it's already familiar story to them, where they already know the story of the Three Little Pigs, so they know that the wolf says, you know, and I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down, and they know that the little pig said, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So it's very easy for them to already recite those lines. So we practice that, you know, for probably about 4 weeks until the time of the play, and then their parents get to come and watch them. I do dress up with them. We do lots of movement and singing, and just really getting them familiar with being on a stage, being able to stay up on a stage when they see mom and dad in the audience and not running towards them. And it really builds a sense of self-esteem in them, even at that young age. I get lots of very shy young children. The parents are hoping this will bring something out of them, and it really does. You'll get children that are very timid, don't want to talk to me, don't want to talk to the other children, and then the day of the play, they're nice and loud so that mom and dad can hear them in the audience, because they want to make sure that mom and dad hear them and see them do it. So it really makes them proud of themselves, as timid as they may be in preschool or kindergarten class. This is something that they can do that not a lot of their friends are doing, so it's very exciting to them. Recently, we had a musical review, which was a fundraiser for the theater program here at Creative Arts. About a little over a year ago, 2 students of mine, teenage students, approached me and asked if they could do a fundraiser to raise money for Creative Arts, which I thought was fantastic, because teenagers nowadays don't always think about other things. So they approached me, and we decided we would sit down and write a script around a bunch of different musical theater songs that they've always wanted to perform. So we came up with about a list of 13 songs. So there was 7 students in the show. Then there was myself. I played the dean at Emerson College, and they're all freshmen at Emerson College. A couple of the students play other professors. So most of the students had a solo, and then there was a bunch of group numbers. And it was just really the coolest thing. It took us about a year between all of their schedules and my schedules to get everything set and done. So it was very exciting when everything finally happened and came together.
The music program is our biggest program. Maybe not as many number of students moving in and out, because students sign up for the full school year. And it's mostly private lessons. We offer Suzuki music instruction and traditional music instruction. The Suzuki program is based on Dr. Suzuki's philosophy that every child can learn. Every child can play music, and kids can start as young as 3 years of age. They first learn by listening and the repetition and playing the instrument. We offer piano, violin, viola, and the new instrument coming up is flute and Suzuki. So again, that can start as young as 3, and they start that by listening. But then as they grow in the books, then they also begin to read music. And they also focus a lot on the performance aspect and the confidence that the students have. So it's pretty amazing when you can see a 3-year-old at one of our student performance nights get up in front of a crowd that I have a hard time and stumble in front of. But this young child will get up, do their bow, announce their piece, play their piece, and sit back down. It's really amazing the confidence that that program builds. And I think all of the arts do, but the Suzuki program focuses a little bit more on that confidence piece. And the traditional music is traditional lessons. We offer a huge variety of instruments: piano, string instruments, band instruments, accordion, the dulcimer. So definitely a large variety of instruments. And that usually starts about age 7. Because the students need to be able to read music when they start. So if you can't read a book, then you're probably going to have a hard time reading music. Creative Arts is mostly an after-school program, although we do have homeschool programming during the day and weekends, Saturdays. And we also have a lot of adult students that now come during the day, especially with music, private lessons that happen during the daytime hours. It's busiest after 2:30 after school, and stays busy until I think our last adult art class ends at 9:30, 9:45 at night. So we're pretty hopping. We're bursting at the seams.
Right now, we're trying to grow the program even more. Last year there were about 1,100 registrations. Recently there's been a lot of new homeschool classes, and a lot of families have been getting involved with that as well. Keep getting questions every day about more and more programs to be offered.
This fiscal year we are doing a bunch of different events to celebrate our 30th anniversary. In 2008 we're leading off with an event in February. We have a mystery dinner theater. In March, we're having a huge public event. March 8th is our annual performathon, which we are also turning into an artathon. There will be some theater activities, some demonstrations, a huge public event, anniversary or birthday cake for the 30th anniversary. And we're hoping a lot of alumni come back, and a lot of families that still live in town, and maybe be sending their grandchildren or even some great-grandchildren that are back into creative arts. Really is a huge family base. Future of creative arts to me looks great. I really see us moving up a great hill. Even though we're 30 years old, I feel that it's been a very grassroots organization for those 30 years. So we're moving out of that and becoming more a mature organization, and looking to the future of having a building and a space of our own so that we can offer even more instruments in the correct atmosphere, to have climate control so that our pianos don't go out of tune, to have an art room for 2D material and a separate one for 3D material. It will really bring a lot both to creative arts and the town, and I really see that as the future of creative arts and the future of Reading to really boost everybody. You know, a thriving community has thriving arts, and Reading has a lot of great arts and cultural organizations. A lot of them are very small, and everybody's doing fine, but there could be even more, both for the organizations and for all the community members. And I really see that taking shape, and 30 years from now, it's going to be pretty amazing, and Reading's going to be on the map. And I see the Cultural Connection, and with a new home, an arts and cultural center that's a community center, will be not just Reading but regional. So we'll be bringing people in from other areas as well, and the place to be will be Reading.